Hey, what's up, y'all? So this is your girl Diamond. I go live every Friday at 7 o'clock. I'm a little late today because it's been a busy work week. and I'm the executive director of Black Trans Women's Inc. I am the host of March's Play podcast. We hit 70, what is it? 750K all-time listens. So we are on our road, well on our road to 1 million listens of March's Play all times. And I want to get there by the end of the week. So if you are not a subscriber to March's Play podcast, make sure you check us out down in the link. We are a Black trans feminist podcast led by me and two other trans people, a trans masculine person and a trans feminine person. And like we are almost gonna be at 1 million listens. Imagine that. Oh my God. So make sure you help us get to there. If you are new, go listen. If you haven't gone back and listened to some of the old episodes, go listen to some of the old episodes. We have been around since 2017. And it just has been a journey, and I have really, really enjoyed it. So check that out and help us get to 1 million by the end of this year. So road to 1 million Marcia's Place listens. God, that is so amazing. It's so exciting. Jeez. Let's see who's in here. So hey Ty, how are you? Loving that Dutch oven. I love the name. Marissa, Bella. Yes. The link is in the bottom, so check it out. If you are new, if you are old, I'm sorry, old is in an old subscriber, make sure y'all thumbs up if y'all come in. Don't wait till the end because I might forget to tell y'all. So today we are going to talk about, this new era of queer coattailing. I've been noticing a couple of things, and I would like for y'all to hear me out and tell me if y'all have been noticing something, because I've been noticing and been paying attention to a couple of people. I am going to do a scripted video about this subject because I think it will make a good video essay. So yes, that will be coming, but I wanted to kind of do a live to see what my people is thinking about this. And it's basically, I'm going to call it like queer coattailing. And it's the idea of queer coattailing in my mind is when people use queer or queer adjacent identities, put the hat on for social economic gain. Similar to kind of cooning, when we think about race relations, you're cooning and shucking and jiving to get into certain spaces. When we think about like queer baiting, we're seeing a lot of celebrities, particularly cishet. This has been going on for a long time. Cishet women doing queer adjacent things. I remember when Madonna and Britney Spears kissed, and Christina Aguilera kissed. Those kind of things. Not that Madonna hasn't been, playing that game, but that's an example of. I never heard of Britney being queer. I never heard of Christina being queer. Madonna has always had a very nuanced, bisexual energy in her imaging. So I can't say really that's not authentically her, but it could be just the imaging too. Anyway, but we know that was more performing for the male gaze or, just to kind of do something salacious and provocative. But we see like really images of them doing kind of bisexual or dykey things. Like even with WAP, a more current rendition of that would be like WAP, would be like Cardi B and Megan kind of licking each other and doing, this is really, really common in cishet people's imaging, like queer baiting, do some gay shit to be provocative. You know what I'm talking about? What kind of examples? What other examples am I leaving out? But it's there's some type of shift that is happening now. Like there's some type of we cisgender women doing that for the male gaze to be sexy. That's been going on for a very long time because it has always been long accepted. Lesbianism has always been long accepted as long as it's for the pleasure of a man. You feel what I'm saying? Now, when you get you them masculine stud bulldagger broads taking the women and you being exclusively to women, then that's a problem. Oh no, 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 that's the lesbian. That's the problem. You gotta you gotta at least let us in, us being men. us let us in to be able to enjoy this dyke and shit that you got going on. But if it's anything to do with you being exclusively to women, oh, that kind of lesbianism is a problem. Y'all know what I mean? Hey, T Time. I think Nikki did that when she first came out. Give me an example. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't put it past her, but I really would like a example. Bi baiting and faking is real too. They can say it, but they just live a cishet lifestyle. The community goes up for them. Yes, 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 yes. You are totally right, Ashley. That I think you're the only one running that account, right? um, Tea Time, check them out. Ashley Breathe runs that. But yes, you are totally right. Um, you are totally right. It's just something about it. Like Chance the Rapper's brother. So many people say, I am bi, but live a cishet life. Come around for pride. Exactly. But it's something that has happened for a very long time with the cishet people. But it's something that's happening with the men that is getting real. Like when we think about Young Thug and the dress thing with the dress, Harry Styles, and this is not saying that that men haven't been cross dressing and doing stuff like that. When we think about Twisted Sister and um, this is a different kind of wearing women's clothes in a way that is adjacent with queerness. Back then, they were very clear that we like bitches. We like women. We fuck women on tour. We run trains on bitches. We get drunk. We get high. It was very clear, made very clear that they were cishet men just doing this thing as a costume, putting on makeup to be, that kind of stuff. But now it is this real, it's a little different. It's not, eh, I don't know, it doesn't feel like it's playing out as this is my character on stage. It feels like it's playing out as I'm doing this as a publicity stunt to be provocative, to be um, this kind of cutting edge thing. And no, I'm not talking about it in a sense. Have celebrities done provocative thing to shock and get our attention? Absolutely. This is not new. But aligning themselves with the queer community as an element of that is something that, or keeping it mysterious, not actually answering questions directly about their sexuality, kind of keeping it in the dark or not saying it at all, aligning themselves with this kind of queer identity is actually new because they weren't doing that. Usually they would be, if you ask them like, are you gay? They would be like, no, I'm not gay. I like women. I'm just doing this for shock. It's the shocking value of it. But now it's this idea of aligning oneself with the queer community. And it actually kind of puts you in that realm of you are one of the woke people. You are one of the people who are dismantling the binary when you really aren't doing shit to dismantle the binary. Um, a recent thing that kind of brought this subject to mind is recently we had a guy on Instagram or somewhere that did a video with a white boy where a white boy asked him how much would it cost to get you, how much money would it take to get you to suck a dick? And his name is Tristan. Tristan was like, yo, is it a trans dick? If it's trans, I'll suck her dick for free. I did that for free. And um and everybody is commenting and saying da 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 da. about him saying he'll suck a trans dick. Now, as a trans girl who's been around for a long time, plenty of men will suck our dicks. That's not that serious. I won't say that all of them, plenty of them going to shout it from the rooftops, but our movement has made it comfortable and open for men to say it, shout it from the rooftop. Our movement and the work that we've done in our movement has pushed us, not a lot, but pushed us to the forefront of the conversation to where some men can say it openly and proudly. But when I pay attention to some of these people, like when I pay attention to him, I'm seeing him shift in his like on his Instagram. When I watch what he did, that video went viral, and then he started creating trans OnlyFans content. Then he started to have these, putting on his Twitter and putting on everything is, I love trans people, da 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 da. When any other time before that, when you look at his posts, it's nothing but cisgender women, fitness shit. It's never anything that's just talking about the trans issue or bringing awareness to the trans issue. Once this video goes viral, which it feels like it's tactical, once this video goes viral, then, oh, I love trans people. And now I'm trying to, and I'm saying this because this person kind of added me on to be a part of, to be a guest on Marsha's Plate. And I know a social media marketing strategy when I see it. And just because you sleep with queer people does not mean that you are an ally. And just because I know plenty of racist white motherfuckers that love to suck black tranny cock. They love to have sex with BBCs, and they will call the police on you. They will call you the N-word. They will wear you out because they are racist, but they still like BBC. And so sleeping with us does not mean that you are an ally. So proclaiming that you will gobble on some trans girl's meat because you know that it's going to make you go viral and it's going to make you go, you know, make you boom, and then you can transfer that boom. We've learned that you can transfer that boom. People talk about she doesn't have talent, but that Kardashian and family, you know, laid the foundation for this. You can make that boom turn into something boom. You get what I'm saying? You can turn that boom into some money. And clearly that's what he's doing, because now he's creating trans OnlyFans content that you got to go on the OnlyFans to see. And then we see this a lot of times with when we think about Dallas Wade and these straight boys who are coming on gay platforms, showing their booties, opening up their booty holes, and doing all these things when they know they have a gay male audience. And so they know that this is lucrative because they know that this pocket of the internet is right and ready to lust after straight men and make them money. And while I'm not complaining about that strategy. Get your money. I'm all about a hustle. But as a person who is a social commentary person, gay for pay, but somewhat problematic, that kind of stuff. As a person who does social commentary, particularly on queer and trans culture, this is something that I got to really call out, that we got to pay attention. And I see it in that realm, and I see it happening with cishet adjacent men just putting on this hat to be controversial and then making money. So there's that. Then there's another element of it. Now that's regard. Do you think Joanne the scammer and Blame It on Quay are trans fishing? No, I don't. I think that's a whole other thing. I don't even think that they're playing trans. They are playing, I think they're mimicking Black women. I think that there's a long line of internet comedians that put on the persona of the caricature of a Black woman, and they are doing that to be funny. There's a long history, particularly of Black comedians doing that, Black male comedians doing that, and perpetuating Black woman stereotypes to become popular because people eat that shit up. All Black women, Black people eat that kind of comedy up, and I don't think that they are pretending to be trans because they don't pretend to be trans. They when K-Sway is playing Kiki, K-Way is playing Kiki. He's playing a girl. He's playing the character of a cisgender girl. He's not playing the character of a trans girl. Nor is Joanne. Now, of course, we know because we know they're boys. It gives that kind of same image, but that's not the character they're playing. And so I don't think that's trans fishing. Not to me. They talk about the history and disclosure. Absolutely, they do talk about the history and disclosure. Um, and we don't even go back to that era. Stay in this era. Stay in the past decade. Like when we think about the internet boom of internet comedians, internet content creators who is rooted in comedy, there is a slew of Black male content creators that have characters of women that they play. When we think about TC Codwell, he's in Houston. He's so cute. K Sway. When we think about even Africana Boy, that's one of my besties, my son, and I love him. But he plays a girl. He plays, he will get up in Geesh and play a character. That is really, really common. That is not we don't even have to go back to that history. Dave Chappelle touched on this. Yes. I think, but I think Dave Chappelle touching on it is a part of the um, is a part of there's a sector of homophobic comedians that uses that as a way of like it's a guise to actually be homophobic. It's actually to say, oh, them niggas really faggots. It's actually to say imply that about other comedians to kind of downright them, to use homophobia to down them. And I think Dave Chappelle is in talking about that. That is what he was alluding to. And there is a set of comedians who are homophobes, particularly Black ones, who kind of use that to kind of use that. At one point, yeah. So, um, so yes, but so there is another element. There's another element of that I want y'all to pay attention to. Um, so that is more around sexuality. The term gender fuck has never been something I enjoyed. So many different kind of flowers in the LGBT community. Um, so that's what we're talking about is sexual orientation. So people kind of doing these fluid things to imply a queer sexual orientation. But there is also this element of gender identity that there is a play out in in um in order to get social economic gain in that. So hear me out. So there are people who I think who are not a part of the community that will tack on like a non-binary identity just to be included in the queer movement. or they will or they will say they're trans, but they really damn, I need some water. they will say they're trans and they really just look like a regular queer person. They will say they trans, but they look like a cisgender woman. Like I know this one non-binary person that, and it's not saying that they can't be trans. I don't want to imply that, but it just makes me side eye them when they are trying to be in these circles of people while walking around with cis privilege. It's similar to like Rashida Jones, who is not, she's not doing this, but let's say that she is. Um, Rashida Jones is a biracial woman who looks like a white woman. Rashida Jones looks like a white woman. So it would be like her kind of talking about oppression. It's not that she can't talk about it, but your experience of oppression is going to be Black oppression is going to be very different than the rest of the Black people. And so because you pass for white, you are going to have a different experience with Blackness. And I'm not one of them people that feel like, oh, biracial people are not Black. I am not one of the people. You are not going to get that kind of conversation from me. I know too many biracial people that are Black. I know too many Afro Latinas who are Black, and I consider them Black, and they are proud to be Black, even within the history of the anti-Blackness in their culture. I think it's a waste of time for me to be gatekeeping people's identity in that way. I let somebody else do that. So I'm not one of the people that think biracial people are not Black. So if she identifies with being a Black woman, that's fine. We talk about Rashida Jones. It's fine. But I also want you to acknowledge that you are not experiencing oppression in the same way that we are, who are obviously Black. And so I think about that for sometimes some non-binary people. It's not saying that they are not trans or not non-binary. Now, sometimes I'm questioning, but I'll see like this one person, they just look like a regular, cisgender Black woman. And they say they're non-binary. They can be, because how that looks is going to be very different. There's going to be some very regular cishet people that are non-binary. Absolutely. As a gender identity. Absolutely. Because they don't identify with being a woman and don't identify with being a man. And so they will take on this mantle of being trans. And I'm looking at them and I'm like, God, I can't imagine you getting any kind of I can't imagine you getting any kind of the slack that a non-passing trans person would get. On any level. Especially like, people you don't have to medically transition to be trans. You don't have any surgeries, you're not getting any surgeries. You are just looking like a cis het woman, or just a cis woman. But you are saying that you are non-binary, and you're saying that you are trans. And you are doing DEI trainings for trans people. You are taking jobs from trans people, not taking jobs from trans people, because if you identify with being trans, you're trans. It just makes me side eye you. It makes me be like, I don't know, girl. I feel like people flame is so non-binary without claiming it. So I don't really. This is one reason why I don't consider flame, because flame was claiming the transgender label before it was in vogue. She's been claiming the transgender label since the 90s. So I can't it doesn't feel like a socioeconomic come up for Flame to claim the transgender label. Now, can we talk about the nuances of Flame's identity and where she falls? Absolutely. But when it comes to Flame was claiming trans before it was even okay to claim. Well, I don't know. She's been claiming trans for a long time to where it's not a socioeconomic advancement for her. So I have to give her some grace in that I don't consider her one of the people that I'm talking about. I'm talking about people who uses that to gain socioeconomic status, to get into circles, to get money, to be a part of the woke crowd, when you really are not experiencing the oppression that you are claiming to get because of the privilege of how you are presenting your gender to the world. You are presenting your gender to a world as a cis person. Yes, you may be trans, that's maybe what you identify, but when you are walking through the street, nobody is knowing that you're trans, baby. You just look like a cis person. You feel what I'm saying? It feels like there are people who are aligning themselves with this queer identity now that we have made strides to get attention. And we, as queer people, particularly trans people, the gender identity piece, now the gender identity piece, where you stand in your ideology, is the litmus test to whether or not you are woke or whether or not you are considered progressive. And so now, if you align with these things, it actually gives you credentials to be, ooh, I'm the woke motherfucker. I'm the person you gotta listen to me because I'm a part of this community. You can't throw my opinion out of the door because I'm a part of this community. I'm really woke. You are over there. I am over here. Like, because we have pushed the culture a little bit forward in progression, it is actually there's an actual socioeconomic advancement that you can actually get by aligning yourself with queerness. And I know that sounds weird when we're always talking about, oh, the disparity. But there is when it comes to nonprofit, when it comes to social media, content creation, there is a pipeline there is a lane when it comes to getting money, getting social status, getting influencer status, getting um, getting clout and recognition for aligning oneself with this movement. There's a bag that can be got. Okay? So we're not talking about, oh, why would somebody do that if you guys got so much disparity? No, I'm talking about somebody who can get in that pocket of, ooh, let me create this video. Let me create this. Let me create that. And then I can get popular, and that can turn into, ooh, let me sell my shirts. Let me sell my music. Let me sell something. Let me get this job on this panel. You see what I'm saying? All of a sudden, and I'm talking about the people who they're all of a sudden queer. They've been around for a long time, on social media for a long time, but it feels like they all of a sudden something snaps and boom, they get attention for being queer, and they now their whole brand and whole identity shifts to, oh, I'm talking about trans rights. I'm talking about queer rights. I'm talking about these things. I don't know. It feels strange. All right, let me see what y'all done said. Sounds like doing it for clout. Yes. Cishet passing by lesbian women do this a lot. Cishet passing by lesbian women. That is a good call out. I see that a lot. Excuse me. Oh, you already know. And drag queen escorting. Yes. Butch queens getting up in geesh just to get the trans coin. That started back in mid early 2000s. Because the girls were complaining about the clients kind of being cheap because the butch queens are undermining the coins. Because they know they can get up and drag and get that client coin because they didn't see the girls doing it. Like, y'all making money over here. Let me put an ad up, put some wig on, put some bra and panty set on. I'm not on no hormones, so this dick work real well. And they live. And they can because of the social economic status. DJ Mr. C likes those types. He does. And so those. So that's why. Yes. So they started murking up the waters where, honey, tons of these motherfuckers get to flooding the market. The quote unquote authentic girls, the real girls, gotta start adjusting their rates. So that was happening in the early 2000s, mid 2000s in the escort industry, because that's when I was in it. And so we did see that kind of adjustment, and it's similar to that. That's in that vein. Let's see. Yes, instead of just respecting the identity, people think they have to take that identity on. Absolutely. And I'm talking about it because I can talk about it, but some people can't talk about it because you'll be called a TERF, you'll be called transphobic, and you'll be called, you're trying to uphold the binary. I don't need to look like this to be trans, and da-da-da. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying we got to acknowledge that some people who are riding the coattails of queer people and the queer movement to get socioeconomic gain. Period. Now, if you authentically, this is your identity and this is how you present, great. But there are people who are taking on this identity for socioeconomic gain. Now that there is a DEI bag to get, now that there is some social justice coins to be given out, it's just like when white folks start seeing hip hop as a viable source of income. Previously it was just, that jungle music, that ghetto shit. Don't nobody want to listen to that. But when it start popping, let's put Vanilla Ice in a fitted cap and ice, baby. Let's get some white boy to get in this space. Let's invest in an Eminem. He had talent. Let's invest. Let's see how we can get onto this bandwagon now that it's a movement that's moving. Yes. Elvis, but that won't be in the movie. Yes, Elvis is one. Let's get on this rock and roll. Let's get on this jazz. Jazz was hated. And now hip hop is a new pop. Absolutely. So everybody, it's not bad to be into hip hop now, but there was a time in the 90s and the 80s where that's music for Black folks. That's not music for the pop era. But because, Black folks make the culture, especially Black queer folks make the culture. We make the culture pop with our fashion. We make the culture pop with our art. That's why, even when you think about, we were talking about, in a previous live, we were talking about Andy Warhol and Basquiat. Even in that video, I was looking at how Basquiat was playing this kind of, not saying that he wasn't queer, but there was a, he talked about hustling and doing a little thing doing little strange things for a little change. You know what I'm saying? It was a hustle, but he actually liked women. And were you queer, gay for pay? Were you actually queer? It was kind of this nuanced thing. And I can see his life keeping that a mystery so he can get into the circles with the queer art people and get into the circles with I can kind of play this kind of queer baby thing so that I can keep being loved and being the next people who consider me the next up under, Andy Warhol. So I thought that was an interesting element about his life, about Basquiat's life, Jean Michel Basquiat. Um, Pop stars didn't sing over hip hop beats, not at all. Cop co-opting the news and development opportunities and repents from queer struggles and oppression. You are totally right, Wild Reed. Totally, totally right. But is visibility always good? The goal. Um, I don't think visibility is ever the goal. There's always a secondary, more prominent goal. Whether when somebody wants to be famous, they want to be famous and have money. They want the economic status too. Most people don't want to. Most people, I don't want to say all. Nothing. Anything I say, nothing is absolute. Um, but most people don't really want the fame without the money that comes with the fame. Ask somebody like, if you take the money away, would you want the fame? They'd be like, no. People would much rather have the anonymity. So I don't know. I just thought I want to. That boy going viral, um, damaging gender credibility. There you go. Um, I don't know. It feels weird. It feels weird. I recently had a dude that has come out as queer, and part of him is like, I only date women and trans women, but I'm gonna come out as a queer identity. But previously, maybe like a year or two ago, he was like, "Oh, I'm straight because trans women are women." Yeah. But then now that we're in this woke era of where being adjacent to queerness can get you jobs and positions and things, now he has to come out as queer when his actions hasn't changed. Does that make sense? He still dates, from what he says, he still dates only women and trans women. But all of a sudden, you went from being straight to identifying with being queer. Nothing shifted in your actions, but your identity needed to shift. What was the purpose of that? Now, don't get me wrong, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with people's identity shifting, but that is what this video is about. It's about people who misuse or use the fluidity of identity in order to get them access to socioeconomic gain. And there is this era that we are in now where people are doing that. And I'm calling it queer coattailing because we have a whole movement that all of us who are authentically, and I'm using that for the lack of a better word, um, who are authentically in this movement and been in it for a long time when it was not in vogue to be, when we weren't getting paid nothing, even getting paid fucking gift cards. um, and so, but now that there is money to be made, now that if you put the queer on your identity, you can get the spot on the TV show. You can get the spot in the cohort. You can get the spot in on this panel that's paying, 300, 500, 1500. You can get these spots that because I'm in the progressive side of things, I can get some position and some coins in order to get in this identity. And it can be seen as, oh, and it can be said and seen and displayed as, oh, uh, gender is fluid, identity is fluid, and there's going to be some shifts that, some people, they come out and this is okay, and then, when they think about it, they shift. All of that is totally true. All that is totally true. There's some people who come out. I was young. I remember when I identified as a gay male. I remember. I remember identifying as a gay male, 11, 12. And then going to the club, I realized, this ain't really me. I'm more on this side, this trans side. This is more, that's resonating with me. You know, I know, I understand, I get it. I know. But it feels like it feels like I'm seeing more often people who are taking on the identity for gain, but not taking on any of the oppression or any of the fight. They literally are saying, I'm letting they always say, I'm letting lesbians have that. I'm letting gay men have that. I'm letting trans women have that. I'm letting the trans attracted men have that. So they literally do not want to get into the fight and get into the deep discussion and dismantling and adding their ideology to the pool of people trying to dismantle these systems. They literally will back out of the fight, but take on the identity to get opportunity. I just see it. I'm seeing it, y'all. They don't engage in the fight. They just know the language of it. Yeah, I just see it. I'm just seeing that, and I just really want y'all to pay attention to it. Um, yeah, it's just weird to me. It's weird, and I don't know. It feels weird. I'm unsubscribing. I tried to reach out. Okay, I don't know what that means. Are you unsubscribing because you tried to reach out and I didn't respond, or what does that mean? I'm not really for sure. What does that mean? But I don't mind you unsubscribing. I mean, I don't have. I'm not that person. That affects. um, I want people to support me who wants to be supported, babe, who wants to support me. But if there's any moment that you don't want to support me, you don't have to announce it. You can just go. You don't have to tell me. I won't notice and I won't care. I promise. Oh, yeah. So, you know. But thank you for being here as long as you are. I appreciate you, darling. Thank you so much for the time you spent with me. I'm sorry that my schedule didn't allow me to respond to you in the speed that you wanted me to respond to you. I don't know who you are, but I am a busy woman that works, that runs a business, and that runs an organization, and it takes up a lot of time. And so sometimes people contact me, especially if they contact me in specific ways that I don't really use, like if you hit me up on like Facebook Messenger or some shit like that, like on my Diamond Styles page, I'm probably not going to see it. If you're on my personal friends page, yes, I'm going to see it and we can talk. Um, but there's a way, I have emails, I have Instagram, I have so many ways to hit me up. And if you're contacting me for, and it really depends on what you're contacting me for. Like, are you contacting me for, I don't know, it just depends. Are you trying to get me to share something? I'm probably not going to share it because if I don't know you or I don't know your business or your connection to community, I'm probably not going to share it because I don't know if this is a scam. I don't know what kind of integrity you have. And so I don't just be sharing things. And also, I have a business. And so I have rates for posting things. I have rates for advertising. I have, yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, he wanted to have probably. It's a revolving door here. Absolutely. I am not. I the, I was saying this on my Diamond Styles page. I said I am what I feel sorry for. Um, I feel sorry for the bigger people who are big and T.S. Madison talked about this in our interview. If you want to watch me and T.S. Madison's interview, if you haven't watched it, you can check it out if you're new here. She talked about this, how, she was, because she started to kind of censor herself. Now, community is going to hold you accountable, and they should, if you say some bullshit. But also, I think if this is your belief, you stand 2 toes down, flat-footed on that belief, and deal with the consequences. And I'm one of those people that if I say something out of my mouth, I deal with the consequences. If community doesn't agree with me, that's fine. But I said what I said. I said what I said person. But I'm never, ever, 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 ever going to be a person that adjusts what I say to not lose you. Like if I, it's not that I don't adjust what I say. Sometimes I adjust what I say to not start mess. Like there's some names that I wouldn't want to call out. Um, there's some names that I wouldn't want to call out that just because I don't want to start. I'm not Wendy Williams. I'm not somebody who kind of thrives off of just being messy. Um, so I don't really like to call out names too much. So sometimes I'll just that. But my opinions and my ideology, I really say what I want, and I don't adjust them based on people. I'm and I feel like I don't get enough bags. I don't get enough money, and everybody say money. Um, it, I can't. Nobody offered me $1 million. I can't tell you what $1 million would change about me. It's gonna change me in some kind of way because that's a whole $1 million. I like to think that my integrity will be the same because I care about what I think about me. And I don't think money, any amount, will shift my moral compass, the image that I want to give out about me. Now, am I going to buy some flash shit? Am I going to be thinking, yes, bitch, I look sickening in this new Ballman jacket? Or no, yes, I'm going to be thinking I'm sickening. I'm going to be thinking my new home is sickening. Yes, but I'm not a person that's going to think I'm better than somebody else. That's not who I am as a person. And that's my moral compass. And money is not going to change that. So I don't think that, I don't know what's going to happen, but I don't think I'll be that person if I ever get to get money. But I'm not there. There has not been any million $1 million offers for me. The biggest check that I have ever gotten from any source was about 20,000, and that's only happened once. I got a 20,000 one, and I got a 15,000. That's the biggest check I have ever gotten. So I haven't had enough. I haven't gotten no money opportunities from big money from YouTube, big money from Marge's Play, big money from my BTWI, Black Trans Women's Inc. I haven't. I don't make enough money in those things for me to have to shift my personality. For me to have to kiss ass. For me to have to be diplomatic. For me to have to, you know, say something that I wouldn't say naturally. One of the reasons why I picked the organization that I did is because I have been dealing with it for so long, and they are dedicated to Black people, and they know who I am. So I've never had them say to me, "Oh, you too naked online. You gotta, if I put a sexy video up, recently on my Instagram, I put a sexy video up showing my ass um, on so I don't want to get put off, but this video in my reels, I show some cake a little bit. This video, I'm standing looking cute. For me, I wouldn't want to work for an organization that I can't post a sexy video, that I can't post a sexy picture. I can't have my ass out. I can't have my titties jiggling. I can't do something that's fun to me. I'm not a person that always posts sexy da 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 da. But if I feel it, I feel it. And if I want to post it, I want to post it. I never want to work for somebody who is going to be micromanage me to the point where they'll say, "Oh, that doesn't make us look right." That on that level of respectability, I'll never work for an organization like that. And so I say all of that to say, don't nobody give me no coins to make me adjust what the fuck I do and what the fuck I say. So y'all can always believe that I'm going to be authentically myself, authentically who I am. That's just who I am. That's who I am as a person. Wait, you don't have management? No, I don't have management. I do all my negotiating myself. I do all my marketing myself. Everything. Yeah. Yeah, my house would be super low. If I ever got like a big coin, yeah, of course I'm getting a fucking house. I'm getting a fucking house. I'm probably gonna get a house in the area that I live in right now. Um, yeah, it's just I'm gonna get all of that. That would be sickening. But my point is I'm not there yet. So I don't ain't I ain't kissing nobody ass. So if you want to leave, if you don't gotta make no damn announcement, I don't know why people do that. I don't know why people do that. That doesn't exist to me. You ain't gotta make no announcement, honey. Oh. Do you get coins from Marsha's Play? Yes, I do. I do. I do. I do. You want it to be acknowledged. Well, you got acknowledged. um, my income comes from two sources. My income comes from two sources. So my executive director position, that's an income. My Marsha's Plate, Patreon, advertising type of deal, that's a coin. And then my Diamond Stylz as an entity, me doing panels, me lecturing at schools, me doing keynotes, me any kind of me coming to talk and educate and da 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 da. Um, that's Diamond Stylz. And so that is me coming as me. And so those are three different entities. There's an LLC for this one, LLC for this one, and this is a nonprofit. So all three of those entities bring me income, and all of them added together would make me low middle class, very low, probably high working class, very in that it ain't middle class, it ain't working class. It's very that sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. The most money that I've ever made in a year was in 2019. 2019 is the first time that I've never done it since then, but it's the first time that I ever hit six figures ever. And it's because I had really big checks in that year. I got my Spotify contract, I got a BET contract, I got so many like big checks in that 1 year, that I literally made six figures. But I have never since, and never and never before made that much money. Um, but that's because all that year it just was a bunch of stuff happening. And in that year, if you think about it, I started my podcast in 2017. And at the time that I did it, there wasn't a lot of trans podcasts out. And so, but by 2019, I had already established, my podcast. There was other podcasts out, but I had already been the one for a long time. And so, particularly black ones. Now it's tons of black ones, tons of black led pop trans podcasts. But mine at the time, it just was, I had, when you Google black trans podcasts, Marshall Blake comes up. And so this movement led to people looking for black trans people to feature, and it led to these different jobs. And so 2019 was beautiful. Do you think if the pandemic had not hit, you would have made what you made in 2019? No. I did really well in 2020 as well. But the 2019 coin was just luck. It was just a lucky moment. That was when World Pride was in New York. And so there was a lot of opportunities. Somebody paid for us Airbnb and paid for us a live show. I don't want to say somebody, Queer Global. Queer Global did that for us. And we did a live show in New York. And that being there during World Pride and having all these different opportunities really led to other shit, other stuff. I met so many people during that time. And it just snowballed into opportunities. So I just think it was luck at the time. Do I want to go into this conversation? Let me see. How can I go into this guy? So I know that there's this article about Black Lives Matter that has came out about them getting a $6 million home for content creation and da 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 da. I'm not going to go into the details of that because that I'm kind of biased in that conversation. Biased for many reasons because I am a leader. I am a Black leader of a nonprofit organization. I am also privy to behind the scenes conversations with some of the leaders of that organization. So I know things that have like details of things, and I'm seeing it from that point of view and seeing how people are demonizing them, and it feels racist and like misogynoir. It feels weird. It feels it's what I'll say about that, and this is not my point that I wanted to go to, but what I'll say about that is Black leaders in nonprofit are under way more scrutiny than other leaders. because social enterprising in nonprofit is a way for nonprofit to generate money. Like it's a legal way for nonprofits to generate money. Social enterprising is where a nonprofit will own a for-profit or run or physically sponsor a for-profit situation to garner money to help fund what their nonprofit programming. That is totally legal to do. And so because people don't understand the law, they can make the image of buying this home as if it's something that was bad. And then also, as nonprofit leaders, they want us to be downtrodden. Like they want us to be, oh my God, because we're asking people to donate to the programming, not to us. But the imaging is that they want us to be like, oh, they don't want us to do anything for ourselves. They don't want us to do, or what we do for ourselves. Even though I got 2 whole other businesses that I run and make money. If you see me on the beach, you're gonna think, oh, is she using the nonprofit money? Bitch, no, my fucking nonprofit don't be making money like that. We got money enough to do the programming, but not enough to take us on the motherfucking trips. It's not until recently that because. So let me get into my point so you can understand, and I'll go back to finishing that one. Black Lives, we have to acknowledge that the Black Lives Matter movement shifted the fucking culture in this country. It shifted how white people talked about us, how white people addressed us. And I'm talking about liberal white people. I'm not talking about racist white people. I'm talking about liberal white people, how they aligned with us at work, how they aligned with us in their work, how they aligned with us in the culture. They started to be like, oh my God, how am I showing up as a racist? Because of this movement pushing the culture in a different direction, now there are jobs being offered to Black people. There are jobs, they're not looking over the Black person to hire this unqualified white person. They're actually looking at their actions and the racistness of their actions because of the culture shift that happened in this country. So there's even the DEI. The DEI culture, the money that was fed into that kind of programming. The DEI is diversity, equity, and inclusion. That DEI work boistered. It blew up and started booming because of the work of Black Lives Matter pushing the narrative of how this culture is racist. So there is a lot of people who are working as a reverberation result, as a resonating result of that you've been chosen for a cohort, you've been chosen to get this job, you've been chosen to be in this position, because they could have picked somebody else if the culture hasn't shifted in this decade. So they're literally have affected the culture and how people are getting money. And so, and they are in, Cali. So the real estate market is super high. You can't even buy a fucking 1-bedroom small cottage for under $1 million. So a $6 million home as a retreat home for content creation is not that big of a fucking deal. And since they bought it, we've been in a pandemic. So they couldn't utilize it for what it was supposed to be utilized for. And like I said, I'm biased because I know during the COVID epidemic, there were people who were throwing money at bullshit organizations, and Black Lives Matter prioritized the Black people and put us on their list of funding so that we can help directly trans people, giving out grants and da-da-da-da. So for me, it just feels like, it feels weird seeing it. And when I see white EDs and organizations having yachts and always flying first class, always um, having commercial buildings created. I don't know. It just feels like this is unfair, unfair scrutiny, and it feels like Misogynoir. And then they're bringing up Alicia Garza. Alicia Garza hasn't even been with fucking Black Lives Matter since 2017. Like, she literally left it and started Black Futures Lab. And y'all bringing her up in the article as if she had something to do with the buying of this home. It just feels weird. Like, I feel like they shifted the culture and now we're demonizing them. We're treating them like Sean King. It feels weird. It feels weird. When if they weren't transparent, you wouldn't even know about it. And then there was some conversations about them, the way they transferred the money to get the house, which I don't know what's the I don't know what's that. Let's scrutinize the Salvation Army, Catholic Charity America, the Red Cross, Brianna, the Red Cross. Like, it feels like this feels like a witch hunt. Like, and they've been around for a minute now. It's been like 7-8 years, right? 2015. If IRS, if there was some legit bullshit, the IRS, do you know how they are public enemy number one? You know how many people would love to get their records and throw them under the bus? That's all you found was a home that was for that. That's all you found? That's all you got? Okay. I 100% support police colors. If they aren't for you, they're against us. Definitely. They get away with more money than Black Lives Matter. Facts. It's just so strange to me. Whether the founders are corrupt or not, they are not corrupt. And I'm saying that from me, who know them. They're not corrupt. I'm just saying this. There are going to be things that you do in if somebody doesn't understand the how do I say this? If somebody doesn't, if you're not understanding this work, there's going to be some ways that you make shit happen for your people. You get what I'm saying? There's going to be some extravagance that you have for your people because you think that they fucking deserve it. Currently, I'm working on trying to fucking get a trip for trans girls to trans leaders who I know who have been fucking working fucking hard in doing the work to get a retreat for them. I'm asking funders to fund it. It's not our organization money because I don't want to take away from the programming, but for funders, white foundations, white-led foundations, can y'all give us some money so I can take my girls on a retreat? I'm literally doing it. Not literally, I literally got it. So I'm literally in the process of that. Now, some people could look at that and say, oh, that's such an extravagance. But I feel like people need shit. I feel like people need that kind of people who do the work. Now, no, I'm good. And that's my own choice to decide who that is. But people who I know do the work, they need it. And so I'm not going to feel guilty about finding funds to do that. Well, that could go to then give us some more money so we can solve all of these problems. Because leaders being burnt out is a problem, and whatever other kind of problem that you think I should be working on is a problem. So give me more money so I can do both. And that's how I feel. I feel like there are things that we need, and sometimes that you may not understand why we need it, but that's not my place. You're not going to be a part of it. Or you may disagree on my strategy of doing something, but I don't care. You're not the leader of this organization. You're not the leader of what I'm doing. If you want to do what you need to do on the way you want to do it. Get your own 501c3, get your own organization, and it's tons of money out here. Do what you need to do. If you feel like you can do it better. But that's one of my favorite scenes on The Crown when the Queen, I know I like The Crown. When the Queen says to her husband, she was like, "Look, I know that I'm surrounded by people that think that they can do this job better than me. I know that they think they know more than me. I know that they feel like, oh my God, she is doing this all wrong. But I am the one who has the crown. I am the one who has this responsibility. It was not given to you." And so that's what I feel. I feel like when you have an organization or you have a movement that you are the leader of, and everybody has a movement, whatever you're doing in your life, your circle of people, that's your movement. We ain't talking about some big old thing. It doesn't need to be some big old thing. But whatever you are the leader of, your household, you got the crown. You decide what's going on in your house and what you need and what's a priority and blah, 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 blah. And over here, I do me. And you don't need to understand it. And if I'm transparent, which I usually am, this is the work is going to speak for itself. The results. And anybody who is acting like Black Lives Matter ain't getting no results or got some results or affected the culture, you a fucking lie. You a fucking lie. That's why the fucking right wing was attacking them so much. That's why they making these articles. Fuck out of here. I have no idea who you're talking about. Oh, Regina. Elizabeth, yeah. In that role, yeah, I love The Crown. For what it's worth. It is a love letter to colonization, but I love The Crown. It's really a great show, well-written show. Whether the founders are, yeah, so that conversation is weird to me. That and how people are quick to kind of run and demonize them. It feels like a reflection of that Jada Pinkett shit. Like this woman ain't said shit. Some fake ass meme says, "Oh, she said that she wished the will." A fake ass sources say she didn't come out her mouth and say nothing, but all of a sudden, everybody want to think that it's true and demonize Jada when Jada didn't do anything in the situation. No matter who you thought was wrong, Chris Rock or Will Smith for being violent, Chris Rock for saying the insulting joke, whether you think that it shouldn't have been insulting, whether you think that she didn't really care, she laughed, and whatever you thought about it. Some people feel like he's wrong for telling a joke. Some people feel he didn't. Some people feel like Will is wrong for smacking him and being violent. Some people feel like he didn't. Regardless of where you are on the side of the coin, Chris may or may not did something wrong, and Will may or may not did something wrong. But guess who didn't do nothing wrong? Jada Pinkett Smith. She sat her ass down right there. She sat her ass right down there and awkwardly, you making a joke about my bald head with this stupid ass joke. And she sat there and ate the joke just like you ate that motherfucking slap. But she didn't do anything wrong. Regardless of whose side of the coin you agree with, Jada Pinkett Smith didn't do anything wrong. But who is getting dragged on the internet? Who is getting dragged? Chris Rock? Will Smith? No. Jada is getting her hookup with August, Tupac, everybody, her old hair. Let me bring up the old hair. She been bald head. Why she serious about her joke? It's a joke. And then like Jada Pinkett is getting dragged. If you don't understand how that is misogynoir, she's getting the consequences. Now, of course, Will is getting banned now from the Oscars. But nobody is talking about Will. Like even right now, people are like, fuck that. They should. You got Roman Polanski and da-da-da-da-da-da. These rapists, Harvey Weinstein and da-da-da. Y'all didn't ban them. Y'all didn't ban them. They ready to defend Will, which I agree with. Totally agree with. But look at how this is turning out. It is Jada that's being demonized. That is misogynoir. That is what this is what Moya Bailey taught. This is what she was talking about. This is what she was talking about when she created the concept of misogynoir. It is a special kind of discrimination that Black women get. Special kind of misogyny. That's at the intersection of race and gender. It is a special kind of misogyny. And so, anybody who's pretending to not see that, like it blows my mind. Do y'all get what I'm saying? Am I tripping? I'm not tripping. I know I'm not. Kevin Samuel Tides couldn't wait to turn to data. Couldn't wait. And then the pick-me's is like, ooh, let me hop on this. The pick-me's too. I had a pick-me in my video about Jada and Will in the comments that I had to go back and forth with. It was strange. It really was strange, and I didn't understand it. She said I couldn't take. I'm like, what? How? What? I can't take. I can't take you being a misogynist against Black women? That's so. It's if you can't understand that, I just don't get it. If you are like, if every one of your jokes, you are my friend. I had to delete him, and he's one of I've been friends with him since high school, but I had to delete him because it was annoying me. Every one of your jokes, every one of your memes, it's not about Chris or Will. It's about Jada. Jada is the butt of the joke. Why is that? Why are you not asking yourself, why is Jada the butt of your jokes? Why are you deciding now? You know, if it's all three of them, and it's here and there, joke, 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 joke. But all of yours are about Jada. Why is that? Are you why? And there is some truth in jest. That's an old saying. My great grandma used to say, "There's truth in jest." You watch your friends that joke about you, and pay attention to the jokes that's said about you. Pay attention to how people joke, because there's some truth in jest. They playing it like they joking, but there's some truth in jest. And so, why are all your jokes centering Jada? Those who don't understand is the problem. They're acting like Jada didn't also cheat, means to say they're acting like Will didn't also cheat. But even cheat is the wrong language. If they both are agreeing that we can go see other people and deal with other people, and we both know about it, is that cheating? Now I know some people got some weird rules around marriage, but if we both know what's going on and I'm going out doing my thing, first of all, Jada has a popular show on Facebook and Red Table Talk. And of course, the video and internet goes a little bit more viral than a book because motherfucking niggas don't read. And Will put his tea in a book. And so, but we see they both, and this is I'm going back to that conversation. Yes, they were agreeing to be in an open relationship. And so the tea to me, and what's crazy is Will and Jada. Why it's strange for Will and Jada is because we have been rumoring and teeing about they motherfucking open relationships, swinging and doing other people together for decades. We are not about to pretend and act like they were not swinging couple number one in our imaginations when it comes to the fodder about their relationship. Them being in an open relationship was a rumor for years. And it was no problem. It was almost like everybody was like, goals, yeah. They doing their thing. They swingers. I heard Will and Jada was swinging too. I heard, like, it was literally a positive thing that they were on that level. But then when we get into the weeds and get into the conversation about the relationship, where all three of the people, even August, I know Jada is annoyed that she hooked up with his raggedy mouth ass talking too damn much. I know she is like, why did I pick this young motherfucker? Bitch, that's why you shouldn't be fucking with his young ass. You knew he was crazy. He was legal. So when I say young, people was, that's another thing. They were trying to make her out to be a predator. What? Anyway, he was vulnerable, going through a bad time, and she came in with her cougar pussy and predator him. Girl, I wanted to be a part of it. Same. But soon as we get a whiff of how an open relationship is, we get a whiff that, ooh, the rumors were leading in the right direction. And somebody spilled the tea and they come out and talk about it. Everybody knew what was going on. But now it's cheating. It's not cheating. That's not cheating. But yes, but I know the point you're trying to make. They both had side pieces. They both knew about stuff. So it's just strange for it to focus on Jada and Jada being the person that is like, oh, you're the wrong one and we're gonna drag you. He did everything for you. Bringing up Tupac. Like, do y'all know that Tupac was about to marry, before he died, he was about to marry Quincy Jones's daughter, the one that looks black. Like, Tupac and Jada wasn't even on nothing. They were friends when they were younger. They had a not relationship as a relationship, but they were really close friends when they were younger. And we're making it about love, like romantic love, as if. But Tupac was on she was on some whole other shit, and he was on some whole other shit. Like, there's a video, I can't remember. Look on YouTube when you get a chance. The story of, I can't remember her name, but it's something Jones, Quincy Jones' daughter, not Rashida Jones, but the other girl. She used to be friends with Aaliyah. There's somebody who did a video about her history and her relationship with Tupac, and Tupac doing something shady to Quincy Jones, and her, the sister, Kadeta, yes, I can't say her name, Kadeta, Kadeta Jones, yes. And so there was a video I watched, and they really broke down the history, and he had got into it with her, and Tupac had got into it with her father, Quincy Jones, and Rashida put an op-ed in Vibe reading him, and he met Kadeta, or whatever her name is. She ate in the 90s video hip hop fashion. Yeah, she was that girl. She was in the hip hop fashion era. She's like the Misha Hilton. She's like the Dapper Dan. She was like one of them people. She was one of the people who got Michael Jackson in some of the designer clothes in Vibe. She just was that person in that Vibe area. She was that. We saw that on Black Femininity Channel. Yes. That's who I'm talking about, Marissa. Black Femininity Channel. Yes. But yeah, she so Tupac was on some whole other shit, not Jada. And Jada was on her whole other situation with Will. She didn't have to be with Will. She wanted to be with Will. They connected. So making Tupac and Jada a thing is in the imagination of the public. That's not, they both had their own shit going on. And they tell us, people know it. People tell us. Like she literally has a whole show talking about his baby mama, and they're battling and not liking each other over this dude. So you don't do that and deal with that if you don't love this man. She's had whole show about how she had to stop her career to have this nigga's babies, while dealing with the fucking baby mama. She loves Will Smith. It was not about Tupac went on to something, she went on to something. They were friends, kids. But this is all like public knowledge. But y'all are acting like Jada is, oh my God, I love Tupac and he'll never live up to Tupac just because y'all on Tupac's dick. That's so strange to me. But anyway, this Misogynoir is running rapid. They keep trying to act like Jada is a devil. Actually, they're trying to equate her to Future. I know y'all seen that. They also saying Willow wrote a letter to Tupac. Also fake bullshit. Also fake propaganda. All fake propaganda. That's so weird. But that's what I'm talking about. How people will go out of their way to demonize a black woman. They just will go out of their way to do it. And how easily it is for people to not question it. How they will just jump on the bandwagon of demonizing a black woman as a leader. And this going back to the Black Lives Matter. Just because it's a leader, queer leaders at that. And how people will just run with the story. I just think that shit is tired. I think that shit is annoying. I don't like it. And like I said, I'm biased because I'm a leader as well. But it annoys the fuck out of me. Yes, this conversation needed to happen. But you just gotta watch out. You gotta watch out for it. It's annoying. And this doesn't mean that people don't need to be held accountable when they're wrong. There's tons of leaders that we're not asking about. And like I said, I don't want to be messy. It's some girls that done got GoFundMe's and they got all of a sudden they got enough money to pay for sex changes. Look, I'm just telling y'all. There's, honey, Google dropped some coins off to organizations that don't even got no programming. How that work? We got girls who had a nonprofit when it was hot in the middle of George Floyd thing. They got nonprofit, and then as soon as they get out of donation, the nonprofit closed. How that go? How that work? What's that? What's that tea? It's just feeling a little weird. It's feeling a little like shit be obvious, and y'all out here. I see them on lists. I see them being pedestalized. Is that a word? And I'm like, y'all don't see the scammer? Y'all don't see these obvious scams that's happening? What is happening? Like, y'all don't see it? I mean, this is just a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. It is a lot. Does anyone in the comments know who she talking about? Name names. It's just a lot. It's a lot. It's just a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot of things that I be peeping that seems like it's obvious. It seems like, oh, she don't give a fuck. She's going to Africa. She's riding the beans, but there's no program that we can look and see and sign up for, and it's just a dead page. I don't know. This is strange. It just I just don't understand. Yeah. Hey, Miss Polk, how are you? But all right, that is all I have to say about coattailing. We kind of queer coattailing. I want y'all to pay attention to people who identities become a little bit more fluid once our movement is getting a little bit more traction, and how they align themselves with the safe part of our identity, the safest part of our identity, in order to gain social economic status and money and opportunities. And I want y'all to pay attention to that and look at it. Only reason why I'm talking about it is because people tagged that boy who was talking about he don't mind sucking tranny cocks. Tagged that boy in a post for me, and they and he hit me up saying, um, "Let's get together." And I'm looking at this post like, nigga, I would never bring you on my post. I would never bring you on my platform so you can get more clout. No, get out of here. Not saying that I'm got the biggest platform, but clearly it's something if you want to be on it. And no, I'm not doing that. I'm not. I don't like that. Pedestalized. Thank you. I'm glad it's a word. But I'm not doing that. That's not my tea. I'm not. I'm not helping you until I start seeing you do the work. When I start seeing you do the work, and also, I just don't think you sucking trans women's pee-pees is groundbreaking. I don't think it's groundbreaking. I don't. I want to see you, married and in the movement and you know out and about with the girls and doing the stuff the work behind closed doors and in front of people. Both. I want to see you. I want to see you like motherfucking um what's her name Gabrielle Union about her step trans child. Honey, she always in the corner. Take a picture. I want a man that is the male version of Gabrielle Union about the movement. I want that. I want whatever that is. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Get a little messy, Diamond. I'm sure he has an interesting perspective. Oh no. I said his name earlier. I said his name earlier, but yeah, that's easy to find. That's not. I'm not trying to. I don't think it's me being messy for calling that out. I think that's the truth. And yeah, um, I just think it's weird. But yeah, we got a half hour. What y'all want to talk about? What else is left? What's going on? I got a new song coming for y'all on Monday. Not Monday, on Sunday. We got a new song. It's called Euphoria. It's really pretty. I love it. It gives like an 80s, 70s vibe. And I hope y'all like it. Ooh, cute. Only acknowledge Gabrielle. I can't wait to hear it. I need some new music. Yeah, I really like it. It's so cute. It's such a cute song. It's such a cute song. I think it'll be done. I think I've adjusted some things, but I think it'll be done by Sunday. So I think I'll put it up Sunday. Um, Me and Ty did a song, but I'm trying to be fancy and make it a cute little audio video. We did a song called Clowns, talking about clown ass niggas. And that should be out in a few, I don't know when, but I'm trying to make the I'm trying to make the video. What I'm trying to do is, as the song plays, I want it to be pictures of the references that we made in our raps because we're rapping, and I want it to be visuals of all the references in our what we say. And so that's what I'm working on. So that should be vibing. What else? Somebody asked me about my book. I am. Make sure y'all thumbs up. I see 44 people watching, but ain't nobody thumbs up. What y'all doing? Why y'all ain't thumbs it up? Put your thumbs up. um, Somebody asked about the book. The book is in editing status. Well, sing a little bit of it so I can hear it. No, you just gotta wait and listen. Um, and nobody can argue that Gabrielle is out here advocating for trans beyond Zaya. Yes, yes, yes. Dwayne vocally supports his trans daughter too, not just Gabrielle. Yes, but why I said Gabrielle and not Dwayne is because Zaya Wade is Dwayne's child. And so that's obvious. So I'm talking about the partner of Dwayne because I was making reference to the guy. See what I'm saying? The guy who is claiming that he likes trans people and he will suck their penis, if he's partnering with a trans person, as the partner, I want to see you like Gabrielle Union is supporting her partner in supporting their trans child. I want to see you like she is. It's obvious. You see what I'm saying? Why I was making the comparison to what I wanted to see with the guy. So that's why I didn't need to mention Dwayne because of the reference. Yes, Dwayne is doing amazing, but the reference that I'm making is to Gabrielle because she is the partner and she is not actually obligated to actually go as hard as Dwayne, but she is. Dwayne, that's your child. You're not be shady, but if you are actually going to support, it's kind of obvious that why you support because it's your child. But but Gabrielle, as the stepmom, she could easily, without consequence, just be quiet. And even when Zaya kind of came out, people were like, "Oh, you the stepmom? Why are you even talking? Where's the real mama?" There was even comments like that. So this is why I'm comparing Gabrielle and why I didn't feel the need to mention Dwayne. So it's not male bashing. It just wasn't relevant. But you gotta follow the conversation because it's not the gotcha moment that you thought it was. I was commenting about you. Are you following me, Wild Reed? You love to do this. You love to do this. I was commenting and comparing the guy saying that what I want to see from him instead of him talking about sexualizing trans women. But Dwayne isn't relevant to the comparison that I was making. He was talking about sexualizing trans women, but what would be groundbreaking is if you're partnering with trans women in this work in the same way that Gabrielle Union is partnering with her partner in the work to uplift trans voices and trans people. So there were more comparison. Are you following me? You can't be this obtuse. I know you always try to get a gotcha moment with me, but it just doesn't work. Do you see how I'm comparing his partnership with trans people with Gabrielle's partnership with her partner uplifting trans people? I want to see him do that work like this, like she is doing the work as a partner. So it was no point in me comparing the father. There was no point in me comparing Dwayne Wade because those two comparisons don't match. I'm talking about his partnership with trans people. His partnership. I want to see you be in partnership in the relationship with people in the same way that Gabrielle Union is in partnership with her partner. Do you see the difference? Yes, she's advocate, but she doesn't have to because she's the stepmom. She doesn't have to. She is advocating for her trans person. There was no, I talk about men all the time. I talk about men all the time. This is when there's a gotcha moment, I would be like, you know, you right, because I'm that type of person. But this isn't the gotcha moment that you think it is. I didn't need to mention Dwayne. And Dwayne is a rich black cis man. When I'm talking about trans people and the issue with people not being an ally how they supposed to, the cis het straight man does not need to be the center of my conversation. So this is not the gotcha moment that you think it is. You are trying to get me to center the cishet straight man in a conversation about how people can be better allies to trans people. Instead of saying, I'll suck a trans dick. You can be a partner like Gabrielle Union is a partner, supporting. But we're not talking about what usually don't. We're talking about me. But you are, and see, now you're being passive aggressive, but because you are trying to get it, you're trying to get a gotcha moment. Look at your language. This is where male bashing comes in, completely disregarding Dwayne Wade's role in supporting his trans daughter by only acknowledging Gabrielle. You say that in response to my comment. So you're saying that you got to follow your own conversation. I don't need to talk about Dwayne Wade in this conversation because he is not the center. Y'all will, men will never be the center of my ideology. They will never be the center because they are coming from a place of privilege. In the same way white people are. Should I have mentioned a white support? Should I mention Cher? Since she support Chaz Bono, is this cis white parent erasure, cis white people parent erasure too? Should I have mentioned Cher too? Are you gonna call that out? Is that the gotcha moment? See, it's the white bashing, but you didn't directly ask for me to center him, but you implied that I was bashing men because I didn't center Dwayne Wade and I only acknowledged Gabrielle Union. That's your literal words that you typed. So you were trying to find a moment. You were trying to find a moment where, oh, I gotcha. This is the male bashing that I'm talking about. You're only acknowledging Gabrielle Union's support of Zaya Wade. You're not acknowledging her father, or her father wasn't relevant. I was talking about the partnership. I didn't need to talk about her father. And I don't need to see, I don't need to center cishet men in my language or my analysis at all. And yes, as Davina said, if you want to spotlight Dwayne Wade, do the work. Do the work. Do the work. You can spotlight. Ready Rock, is that true? Probably. So acknowledging him makes him the center. Yes. You pointing that out is okay for you to point it out, but you trying to find wrong in my statement for not centering him is the problem. You said that I was male bashing. That is literally your statement. You say, this is where, let's scroll back up, let's reread it. This is where male bashing comes in, completely disregarding Dwayne Wade's role in supporting his trans child by only acknowledging Gabrielle. You said that I was male bashing. That is a passive aggressive way of saying that because I didn't mention Dwayne Wade, because I was comparing Gabrielle's partnership in her loud, super acknowledging of her stepchild with the guy, what I wanted to see from the guy. You're saying that I'm male bashing because I didn't center Dwayne Wade, because I didn't mention him. This is what you're saying. Follow your own words. Now you're trying to weasel out of it because I'm calling you out that this isn't the gotcha moment that you think it is. Now you want to say, well, I wasn't really saying that, but that's what the fuck you were saying. And some dummy you can run circles around and gaslight them, but I'm gonna keep you focused. I'm gonna keep you focused on what you said. This is why I ain't got no man, because I deal with them like you. I make them feel stupid and emasculate them. This is how men do. Y'all will say something, get it popping with some dumb shit that you say, but then you try to switch it and weasel out of you being aggressive. Oh, I didn't mean it like that. But when I call you out and say, this isn't it, partner, then it's, oh my God, you're being so sensitive. That's not what I said. You misunderstood what I said. No, bitch ass nigga, you was fucking trying to be cute, saying that I was male bashing. That's what you were doing. That's literally your words. Let's stay on what you said, not what you think you were conveying. What you said was that this is where male bashing comes into play. Me not mentioning Dwayne Wade and only acknowledging Gabrielle Union. And I'm telling you, I don't need to center Dwayne Wade in my conversation when I'm trying to make a comparison to what I want to see from a nigga who is sexualizing trans women and not actually being in partnership with them. I want to see what Dwayne Wade's wife does, Gabrielle Union. I want to see what his wife does, because she actually doesn't have an obligation to, because she could easily sit back and do nothing and let Dwayne Wade do the work himself, because that's just her stepchild. That's not the mother. This is not a situation where it's Magic and Cookie. Magic and Cookie supported EJ. Y'all both his motherfucking parents. He came out of your pussy. He came out of your dick. So of course. But Gabrielle, she could just sit back and chill and nobody would expect anything for her. Well, I think she is a loud trans ally, because I hear her talking about transness all the time. And so I don't know what you're talking about, but that's what I want to see. Now, if she doesn't live up to your ideals of trans allyship, that's on you. But that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about the levels of what is a trans ally, da 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 da. We're talking about you claiming, once again, let's wrap it to focus. We're talking about you claiming that I'm male bashing because I didn't mention Dwayne and I mentioned Gabrielle. That's what we're talking about. And that's wrong. This is not the gotcha moment that you think it is. You can have other conversation and make other statements about whether or not Gabrielle is a loud trans ally. Da, 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 da. That's great. You can make that statement, because that is a personal taste, that you can do that. But what you're not going to do is make it seem like I'm male bashing when I am not, just because I don't mention Dwayne. Can we acknowledge that? Let's not sidetrack and get on the idea of of I don't know what that has to do with you saying that I am male bashing. Why would you use the obtuse example of a cis man in comments as an example of what he should be? I don't know what you're talking about. What? That doesn't, now you don't make sense. Now you really don't make sense. I'm not backtracking. No, I'm reiterating a point that I made. I'm not backtracking or changing my point. My point was, so once again, you don't have the intellect to actually stay on track. Backtracking means that I'm going back and changing something to be something different. I'm actually not changing something. I'm actually still saying, I'm actually still saying what I said at first, that Gabrielle Union is the example that I wanted to see in the guy. I have said that multiple times. It has not changed. So I'm not backtracking and switching something and spinning something. I am saying exactly what, and this is being recorded, so you'll be able to go back and watch it. I am not saying anything new. I am not switching. I'm not saying anything different. I am actually saying exactly what I said earlier. Gabrielle Union is the example of what I want to see him do. And you got mad because I didn't mention Dwayne Wade. Because you wanted me to center, you wanted the Black trans woman to center the cishet Black man in my conversation. And so you tried to guilt me into thinking that I was male bashing when I wasn't. I wasn't actually male bashing. I just didn't center Dwayne Wade because he wasn't relevant to my conversation as a Black trans woman talking about what I wanted to see from this man, what type of partnership I wanted to see from this man. And Gabrielle was a type of partnership that I wanted to see. I didn't backtrack. I didn't say anything different. Yes, you listened, but you didn't comprehend. You might have listened, but you didn't comprehend because you were too busy trying to find a gotcha moment. See, you're bashing males. When I'm bashing males, it's kind of pretty obvious. I bash men all the time, but that wasn't the one. When I say men ain't shit, niggas ain't shit, niggas ain't shit. Like literally, I'm very. I have said this many times. Niggas ain't shit. I will talk shit about cis men and the hoteps and da 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 da. When I do that, I do that. I'm not ashamed to do it. But this just wasn't one of those moments. I can't wait. I hope that you are here when I am bashing men, so you could be like, "Oh my god, there you, Diamond, you're bashing." And guess what Diamond will say? I'm bashing them today because these niggas ain't shit. But today, this just wasn't it, buddy. This wasn't your moment. This wasn't the moment. This wasn't the moment for you to be like, "Oh, you're bashing. You're male bashing. Why didn't you just center Dwayne Wade?" When you spoke to him, it wasn't about partnership. I never spoke to him. I never spoke to him at all. I didn't respond. I'm speaking to y'all and I'm speaking about how I wanted him to advocate. Yes, and I wanted him to advocate like Gabrielle Union. I literally said, I want to see you partnering with trans women. If you go back, that's literally before I even said that, I said, I don't care about you sucking dick. I want you to partner with, how are you partnering with trans women? Are you like in their corner? I want to see you partnering like Gabrielle Union is partnering. This is being recorded. You can go back and listen. Hmm. I literally said partnering out of my mouth. But okay. You can go back and listen. It's okay to bash men, but not women. Well, you know, there's a different empower dynamic. There's a different empower dynamic. It's almost like you're saying this is almost like reverse racism. And I think let me see if I can find the book. This is an amazing book for you. This right here, post-traumatic slave syndrome, Joy DeGroy, PhD. You might want to read this because she talks about how white people, and this is relevant because you're doing it in gender. Um, well, how you heard it has nothing to do with how I said it. I can't control how your brain, the inadequacies of your brain, comprehends what I say. I can't control that. I can't. That part I can't control. And so, yeah. If I say partnership and you didn't hear partnership, what am I supposed to do with that? If I say the sky is blue and you say, I heard you say the sky is black and purple. I mean, what am I supposed to do? I mean, what am I supposed to do with that? I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that. You said the sky is black and purple. No, I said the sky was blue. Yeah, it was the most gorgeous blue today. And I love when the sky is that blue because it's amazing. But you're bashing dark colored night colored skies. You're bashing night colored skies because I heard you say that the sky was black and purple. Power dynamics are irrelevant when you are hurting people. Who am I? I'm hurting Dwayne Wade. I'm hurting Dwayne Wade by mentioning Gabrielle Union and not him. And power dynamics have don't have anything to do with this conversation. I'm hurting Dwayne Wade by not mentioning Dwayne Wade in a conversation about how I want this guy to show up and advocate for trans people. I am hurting Dwayne Wade by not mentioning him. Is that there are people women hurt that have less social power than cis women. Where do you live? Maybe we could look up some therapy for you. This sounds like you need a therapist. This sounds like somebody hurt you, baby. Who hurt you, baby? It wasn't me. I don't know you. But who hurt you? Do we need to find some therapy program for you so you can stop hating women and thinking everything is about um, hurting men? Like what what kind of therapy can we get you signed up for? But we're talking about right now. And in this situation, who has the power in this situation? Dwayne Wade, the one who has all the money? How am I hurting him by not mentioning him in a comparison that I have, by not mentioning him in a comparison that I have about how somebody should advocate and partner? That's what's groundbreaking. It's not having sex, it's actual the partnership. It's how you advocate for us. Not using the obvious example, but that's the obvious example for you. That's your opinion. When you make a point like I'm trying to make, you can choose to bring up the way. I feel like Gabrielle was the most obvious point. To me, it's a tactic to disacknowledge all male contributions. Now, if that is how you feel, that's how many do assume trauma and mock it. Whose trauma am I assuming? Whose trauma? Who is being mocked? Dwayne was being mocked. I was mocking Dwayne by not centering the cishet rich man in my conversation. I was harming men. Like this sounds reasonable to you. Like this is why therapy is important. This is this is like you got to under this is it's crazy. This is why I mean I'm serious. Like I'm serious. Like it's you really need a therapist. Because this is you sound like you are very toxic towards women. Because if this is your um if this is your response, I can only imagine the women in your life, I can only imagine how this plays out in their harm. Apparently, men are harmed by these live chats now. Yeah, apparently, rich men are harmed. About me feeling that Gabrielle Union is the better fit for my analogy. I want you to understand that Wild Reed wants me to center Dwayne Reed. This is the diabolical. This is the diabolical mental problem with this person. Wild Reed wants me to center Wild Reed's perfect example for my analogy on my live. That's the deeper diabolical because he feels, now I'm the one who made the analogy, but because he feels that Dwayne Wade is a better example for my analogy, he thinks that I should have picked Dwayne Wade. This is him. He feels like because he feels it's perfect. Is that not misogyny? He feels because he's a man, he feels that my option of picking Gabrielle wasn't sufficient enough. It is who he thinks is a more perfect example. And because I didn't pick his more perfect example, I am a misandrist, a person who hates and bashes men. Because I didn't pick what he feels was the more perfect example of who I wanted to pick in my own analogy on my own live. I want you to think about the psychoticness of that. And imagine if you were in his, now this is just on a live from somebody who doesn't know him. Imagine if it was somebody in his life, the type of circus clown, the circus, ring circus, and hoops and shit that the women in his life have to go through. Imagine that. Imagine that. Imagine. I can only imagine the type of incel, ridiculous conversations that he is having with the women in his life. Because this is just somebody he doesn't know on a live, that he has literally twisted their words into thinking that I'm bashing men because I didn't center them because he thought that it was a perfect example in my own analogy. Like I have, as a woman, I don't have the mental capacity to make the better choice about my own analogy. My own. He, as a man, thinks that Dwayne Wade is the perfect example that I should have used. And being that I didn't use his perfect example, I am male bashing and de acknowledging his support of his trans daughter. But what is obvious? Define what's obvious. What's obvious to you is based on perspective. You think that is obvious. And also, it's not only based on perspective, it is my analogy. I get to make the parameters of my own analogy. And so, from my vantage point, Gabrielle was the most obvious choice from what I wanted to see this guy present as a partner and advocate. I get to make the parameters because it's my analogy. And not making your analogy in his way is violence to him. Oh my God, it is bashing. Imagine the depths of confusion that runs in his life. I said, imagine how this works out. If this small thing turns into male bashing, imagine the women in his life, what they have to go through in engaging with him. Yeah, I can only imagine. So all women in my life are victims of me. I said, imagine. I didn't say what the reality was because I don't know you. I don't know the reality of your life. But I said, imagine. Imagine what they are going through. Imagine. Patriarchy is patriarchy. And they just oblivious to it. Like white people. I can't question your choice. So Wild Reed, you could have said this is you didn't question my choice. You told me that I was male batching. That's what you said. You could have said, Diamond, hey, this would be questioning the choice. You could have said, hey, Diamond, why wouldn't you choose Dwayne Wade over Gabrielle Union? That seemed like a better example. And then I would have came back with an answer to that question. Why I feel she was a better choice. That would be questioning my choice. But instead of doing that, you said, see, this is male bashing. Okay. And once again, it's my analogy. It made no sense to you. I'm talking about partnership. I'm not talking about relationship between a father. That didn't, it's to me, it's obvious that a parent would choose that. That's the right side of history. But a stepmom doesn't have to do that. Like nobody would fault Gabrielle for just sitting back doing nothing. Oh, but yes, this was fun. You ate up the time, baby. The world is not against you, Wild, or against men for that matter. Yeah, men are in the position of power. That's why power is always relevant. If you don't acknowledge men's power, then, you know, when we're talking about structures of sexism, in the same way that white people are in power in structures of racism, you know, if you don't understand that, then you're gonna always have a problem with my analogies. They're gonna be always making no sense to you. So so the question is, why do you keep coming back? That's the question. Like where's D at? Tell him to subscribe so he can talk, so he can tell, so he can tell you how to exit. Where is D? D said, I am unsubscribing. I mean, look, D said I am unsubscribing. like I mean, if if it's so much male bashing, I mean, when I see women getting bashed on people platforms, that the conclusion was your choice was based on misandry. Right. So if I'm a misandrist and I hate men, why are you here? That's the question. If I hate men so much, why are you here? He wants you to admit it. He wants me to admit to being a misandrist. Okay. I hate men. I hate their guts. I'm a misandrist. You know, because I don't center men. I apologize if you don't like that. I'm never gonna censor them. Never. Miss Sandra. Oh, he is the victim, baby. They used to tell LGBT people that the world isn't against you. You got a chip on your shoulder. Yeah, sure. Black on black crime. But what about black on? What about reverse racism? It is the black people that hates white people. Uh-huh. Oh, boo hoo. Yeah, I'm here to learn and teach. Mhm. But you're not teaching anybody anything. That's the crazy part. You're not teaching anybody anything. Definitely not me. I mean, you definitely not teaching me nothing. I ain't learned nothing from you, baby. I love when people add to the conversation. That's my love. That is my love. Nothing was taught at all. Nothing. 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 But anyway, what else? I'm done being a misandrist. No, he should not. He should because he doesn't want to hold them accountable. He doesn't want to hold men accountable for anything because the world is against them. He wants to hold the black trans woman who is not centering the rich cishet father. He wants to hold her accountable for her male bashing. How dare you not center the rich cishet black male father supporting his child when he doesn't have to support that tranny daughter? He doesn't have to support her. Why are you mentioning the black stepmom? How dare you? The father. It's the father. Mention the father. Mention the father. You misandrous tranny. How dare you? Uh, Baby, he's giving Mr. Sandman. Have y'all watched Mr. Sandman on YouTube? Mention the father. Every time, that's what every time Wild Reed gets to talking his shit, I'm gonna scream, mention the father. That's gonna be my new thing. I ain't even gonna argue with you no more, Wild Seed. I'm gonna be like, mention the father every single time. Oh, Wild Reed, I'm sorry. I called him Wild Seed because I'm centering Octavia Butler and I wanted to erase his actual name. And that's male bashing. I'm sorry. I called him Wild Seed because I wanted to center a black woman, the author, Octavia Butler, who wrote Wild Seed. I wanted to center her, so I called him Wild Seed instead of Wild Reed. My fault. Oh my God. The male bashing just keeps coming. Mention the father. Always mention the father. Always, always. You got to, you got to, you got to. Mm. Well, on the road to 1 million. I am so excited that Marsha's plate is, let's see what the number is now. So we're going to start counting the number. Let's see where we're at now. So let me go to Insight and go to all times, baby. Excuse me. All times. Ooh. Why is it not giving a number? Yeah, so right here, boom. 728K. You know what's amazing is I'm only in March. Now look at the number. So this is 2018. This is 2017 when we started because we started in October, so we had like a couple of months left. 2018, 2019, 2020, and we kind of dropped a little bit in 2021 because why we dropped I didn't post the rest of, um, if y'all remember, in 2018, 2019, 2020, we had the reviews of Pose. And because I had some deaths with Nikita and all that kind of stuff, rest in peace, Nikita. I just wasn't feeling editing two different shows. And so I didn't get to put out all of the Pose reviews. So I would have made, because it's only a separation of 2000, I would have made above 2022, but I forgot to put out the post reviews. But look at that right here. This is this year. And this is only 3 months in. Well, 4 months in. 4 months in, we almost halfway at that point. If we keep going at this rate, we almost halfway. And we ain't even in the middle of the year. We got what? May, June, 2 more months to begin of the year. So we ahead like 60,000. You feel what I'm saying? So we almost halfway only in 4 months, in a quarter. So we are well on the road to 1 million. I am trying to get to 1 million. So make sure y'all go back and y'all listen to some of your favorite episodes, share some of your favorite episodes. I got some amazing interviews coming up in April, in April and May, because I will be out of the country. So I have some pre-recorded interviews with people. I have the amazing, beautiful, legendary Tommy Ross, drag extraordinaire, and we talk about her career. We talk about trade. I haven't heard Tommy Ross talk about trade too much, so I tried to shake it up to see what the old girl got to say about the men's. We like loving on the men's since everybody thinks we bashing. Talking about the men's, and then talking about her opinion of the whole RuPaul fiasco, because she is such a staple as a trans woman in the drag community. I wanted to hear her opinion. Now there's trans people on RuPaul Drag Race, and so it is what it is. But I wanted to see her opinion about all that stuff, and it might surprise you. It surprised me. So, yes. Also, I interviewed a leader, a queer male leader. I had a bunch of men on this show, even a cis het one, but definitely other men, definitely queer men. And so I'm going to add to queer men to the roster of the ones that I have had, and add Ian, Ian Haddock. He is Little Nas X featured his organization during. You remember when he was promoting his baby, his album, and he had on his baby registry list, he had organizations. Ian is from Houston. The organization is based in Houston. Ian is one of those organizations that Little Nas X highlighted, and he has an amazing story in regards to, his coming of age story, and he's just a great storyteller, similar to myself, and we had a really, really good conversation, and I think y'all are going to enjoy that. I also have a 75-year-old trans woman by the name of Lucretia Lamore, and she is from Rad Shack, Mississippi. She is Lucretia is. I'll let y'all listen to her. She's a legend, and so Lucretia will be on here. Who else? Who else do I have in store? I haven't recorded with this person, so I don't. We are planning, but I don't like to talk about it until I have it in the bag, because a lot, people will say, "Yeah, sure," and do it, and then we don't have it in the bag. So those are the people that I have recorded already, ready to go. So there's some more people that we're trying to schedule, and I can't mention them because it's not the. I ain't got the file in my memory. I ain't got the file in my memory. When I got the file in my memory, then I can talk about it. Tommy, Ian, and Lucretia's in here already. So I don't want to talk about these other people until they make it happen. Mm. Yes, 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 yes. So we got stuff coming. Now I'm sure y'all are gonna enjoy it. Oh, let's see. What did Kingdom of Queens say? Diamond, hey chat. I didn't want to forget, so I commented on one of your lives. Watched a YouTuber by the name of Them Is Froth. Never heard of it. This is how those MGTOW men be sounding. Yeah, MGTOW. Um, Men going their own way. I actually listened to The Sandman. I used to be subscribed. I'm not subscribed no more, but I used to listen to The Sandman. He's like a white MGTOW. Um, and he has some very negative opinions about black women. Um, but I sometimes listen to people like that because it gives you some insight of the ridiculousness of the far right, like the far right people, the far right sexist, the far right people. I I listen to not just to get an idea of where their mind is, because it it lets you be able to make a better argument for you and what you got going on if you understand what they are thinking and how their mind works. Even if it's ridiculous, at least understanding the thread of how they got there, even if it's like ridiculous, how they are, because then it lays the foundation of how you be like, this doesn't make sense, this doesn't make sense, this doesn't make sense. You can break their whole train of thought down. And so I hear, hey, Chance, baby, I think about you. I was, nah, I think about you. I said it like, you're an old lover, baby. I thought about you the other day when I had to sign into Apple Podcast Portal because they redid some of their terms of service, and I had to re-sign it. And Chasing Threads popped up, the old podcast that we did. I miss you. You should really come back, and we should restart it. Just we can just act like we never stopped and just come back with another episode. I think we should. Just don't say nothing. Just come back like we never stopped, and just do the damn thing. Because I really enjoyed those shows. Did y'all watch Chasing Thread? That was another podcast that I had with my friend Chance, and he is amazing. I don't know. Are you they now? Are you using they them pronouns? What are you using now? Yes, come on through. Are y'all planning to come back to stay or just to visit? I love Chasing Threads. Yes, it was so fun. Wasn't it so good? It was so good. Why I created Chasing Threads with Chance is because Chance is one of my favorite white people in the world. And because he's so cool and our energies match in regards to strengths and weaknesses. And so if we were able to talk about things that didn't have shit to do with transness. We were able to, because it was about fashion and really current events in relation to fashion and the clothes that were popping and da 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 da. And so, yeah, it was so fun. Because Marsha's Play, we were talking about trans shit, but Chasing Threads, we were just talking about fashion and other stuff, and we were taking like big cultural events and kind of breaking them down through the lens of fashion. The Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky episode was just fantastic, wasn't it? That was the shit. We're coming back for good, but no hard details yet. Oh, good. Yes. The podcast numbers you showed included listeners from other podcast players like Overcast and Podcast, and not just Apple. No, that was the podcast numbers I showed was from just SoundCloud. So on SoundCloud, it includes all of those. Only one it does not include is Spotify. Spotify, they don't give your RSS feed information on their listeners. You have to go to Spotify. So right now, so where was I at? 700 in let's go back to here. Let me see. All right, so my catalog. Let's see how much. So on Spotify, I have 92,776. So how much is that? 92,770 92,732. Where I get 76? Dyslexia. So 728K. It was actually 700 and this morning it was 727K, 727 and 59. But I guess it went up to 72K. So 728K. So let's see. 728. Let me go to the exact number. Just like on there. While we here. While I'm thinking about it. Baby. All time. So the exact number is 728K, 728,296. 728,296. And so if we add the Spotify plus 992,732. Oh shit, we're at 821. 821K, 821,028 views. So we're not that far from a million if we add those. I didn't even look at that. I'm glad you made me think about it. Thank you. Who is that? Thank you so much. I didn't think about that. I'm doing myself short. So yes, I'm glad you made me think about Spotify. You are totally right. Yeah. Podcast numbers usually, yeah. Having negative opinion about Black women or critical of majority collective of Black women. Oh, child, it was so much fun. Because I'll interchange between Overcast and Spotify. Overcast shows me on SoundCloud, so I'm able to see it. Spotify does not. I can see it because I can sign into Spotify and see my numbers. I can see it, but it doesn't show me on SoundCloud, which is my hosting site. So Spotify is petty like that. Like they don't want to give you. They don't want even though they're the third party, they don't want to give you their data. Apple gives it to you. Everybody else does except for Spotify, which is like. But yeah. if you want me to see it on SoundCloud, use Overcast because that pops up. But Spotify, I have to actually go Spotify. But it doesn't matter. Now that I'm thinking about it, you just made me think about Spotify. I forgot that there's a whole slew of listenerships on Spotify that I have to include in my road to 1 million. And I'm glad you did because we're even closer there. Yes, 821,028 listens. Let me see. How much is that? Oh, not so much. Mm. That makes it even more closer. I am ready. Mm. And that means I have like 8. I have like 8 months. At the most, 8 months. If I keep going at this speed, 8 months. What is that? Yeah. So the goal is to get there by New Year's. I would love to hit 1 million by New Year's. That's the goal. Anyway, back to Chance. When you come back, we need to get it popping. I am no longer accepting your depression. I rebuke it in the name of Jehovah Jireh. I am no longer accepting insecurities. Rebuke it in the name of Jehovah Jireh. We are rebuking those feelings of inadequacy, and we are going to start chasing some more threads. As you can see, somebody remembered that how amazing the Clinton episode was because it was amazing. It was a fucking amazing. It was so good. Well, all right, y'all. I am going to go and get me some miso sea bass, and then first I'm gonna walk you. You wanna go outside, Raven? Raven, you wanna go outside? Hmm? Say, I'm ready to go for a walk. You ready to go outside? Where's your toy? Go get your toy. Go get your toy. Go get your toy. Go get it. Go get it. Good job. Good job. Good job. Good job. Get it. Hey. Get it. Come on. Hey, he's so smart. Now go get it. Smart enough to not know that I'm wearing them out. But yes. All right, y'all. I will see y'all next Friday. Talk to y'all later. Do, 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 do.